Hi, it's Angela Torville and Mike Torville, your hosts of Get Moving, the real estate roadmap with the at-home team, where we're going to provide you with the education, tools, and unfiltered talk to keep you in the driver's seat. Thanks for joining.
Hi everybody, I'm Mike Torville, your co-host of Get Moving with Angela Torville. We're glad you're back, and today we have a special guest, Mike LaPointe. Mike is a friend, owner of Bulldog Realty Group, entrepreneur, and more importantly, a real estate investor. So you wear many hats, Mike.
Yeah, you're going to talk about husband.
Oh, husband,
Dad.
father of Max.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Mostly we're going to talk about real estate investing. We can talk about your son and your wife and all kinds of things if you want.
No, not right now.
Okay.
We did that earlier today.
At home. Get that out of the way. But you've got a lot going on. You wear a lot of hats. And oh, by the way, you're a car enthusiast and also do a lot of work with cars. You have a long history of your career in car business.
That's what jet-setted real estate for us too. It was
Really?
it was all relationship based, which I can get into. But
Okay. Yeah.
automotive always led me to cool places, and real estate being one of them.
Yep. You do wear a lot of hats, and you keep spinning them all day long.
Yeah.
So, and then when you come home, you're just a dad.
That's it. That's
The
it.
most important
best role.
job.
The best role. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you own a handful of homes. How many homes do you own now?
We're actually closing on one today. So
Awesome.
I lost count at one point. I think after 10 I lost count. So I think we're at 16 homes.
16.
21 doors.
Wow.
Okay.
21 doors. I know people like to count
So
door
you have a
counters.
mix of single and multis.
Yeah, we started in single family. I call it like lazy investing. My wife gets nuts when I say that, just because
Nothing lazy about it.
Well, yeah, it's
You're not a lazy guy.
we were so nervous getting started with tenants and all the horror stories you hear that we wanted to say, we want to own a place and buy a place and rent a place that we would live in.
Right.
So
Most importantly, right?
even though it doesn't make the most money necessarily, day one, it was where we wanted to start. And I think that's the most important part. Is
I like that strategy, right?
Yeah.
Mindset around
And if
the
you
property.
realize where it led us, I mean, if as we tell the story a little bit, and
So yeah, and you said something earlier. You're a little nervous in the beginning. I think most early, the first time you're nervous. You're a first time home buyer. You're nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes a couple things. You can't avoid that because it's a big undertaking when you're not familiar with it. But also too, it's important to rely on the professionals that are guiding you through it.
yeah,
Whether it's the loan officer, the realtor, because that trust is important. Because you have to know. You have to feel like you're in good hands.
Yep.
Right. And now you're on the other side of that too, because you're also a licensed real estate.
well, because of automotive, I called it my core four.
Okay.
I had my attorney, my insurance agent, my real estate or my realtor.
Mm-hmm.
Who else am I missing? There's my other one.
Loan officer.
Loan officer, thanks. The most important. And all those, that network was built and made us feel way more comfortable getting into it.
Yeah.
Just from automotive and the relationships I had. They were all clients of mine.
Okay.
A couple of them were previous employees. Our insurance agent been great to us. He used to work for me.
Yeah.
So it was easy to pick up the phone and
You had a
ask for
built-in trust.
support from people we knew rather than just going in blind and saying, "Hey, we want to buy a house. Now what do we do? Who do we connect with?"
Yeah. What's the first thing
Yeah,
you should
that's
know?
right.
What should I be aware of?
Yeah.
How can I avoid these mistakes?
Yeah.
Well, when you have a team like that, you don't have to worry about asking the right question. They're already on it for you.
Yeah.
They know exactly what to do. What
Now
you're
I'm
looking
cut
for.
out. I'm
yeah,
cut
that's
out.
what I was gonna say. It's almost like you don't
speak
even.
with my insurance
Yeah.
agent who speaks with to the lawyer, and I'm just in a long email chain that I can't even follow anymore.
You're like, are we done yet? Are we done yet? That's
yeah,
all.
right.
No, that's great.
Let me
though.
know where I got to sign.
Talk about taking anxiety away, right? You have that.
And now let's
yeah.
just say that you just have an interest in investing in real estate, and you don't have that network that you had built
Right.
in. You've got to search and say, okay, who can I trust? Who do I start with?
Yeah.
And I guess the best way is to get a referral from somebody you do trust along the way. Ask your attorney, a real estate agent, somebody to say, okay, this is what I'm intending to do. Who do I start with?
I think a lot of people start with the real estate agent, right? Or actually,
That's a great
one of the fatal errors I see most first-time investors doing before they come to me is starting with someone they're following on Instagram or TikTok.
Yep.
I mean, honestly.
Really?
And then they
Social,
come
yeah.
to me and they don't realize the foundation that they need to build first before they go sink their life savings into their first investment. You know,
Do you
They-
bounce the ball back to them at that point?
Oh,
or do
yeah.
you take it and advise from there?
well, no, I let them tell me what their plan is. And then I say, okay, well, then let's talk about a little bit more of the goals 5 years, 10 years from now. What are you looking out of from this investment? Are you looking to accumulate more? Is it just a one-time thing and your mom's going to live in it and you'll rent out the other apartment? There's a lot of reasons. If they want to accumulate more, I start to lay the seed for an LLC.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of ways we can finance with LLC, and there's a lot of benefits to it. You probably know.
Well,
so.
you know, it's funny you say that. When we started, we didn't have that layer of protection, and we did the whole traditional. And it sounds outrageous now looking back, but we did 10 properties in my personal name
Wow.
because I had the W-2 income to support it, and so did my wife.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, it's you. Yeah, it's
pretty
I said
good.
automotive was good.
I it was
Yeah,
good too.
it's been good. It's been great, and I worked my butt off to do that. But yeah, at a young age, I was running a store at 24 years old. I was a general
Wow.
manager, so you kind of like you park some money, you just save, and you go, what can I do with it?
Right.
So anyway, Mike is actually a friend, a family friend, which connected me with you, and then
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone so far, the web of network. At one of your events that you hosted, I met another person who we may be using for financial advising and
love
financial planning moving forward, just through who you know. So we actually started with family and friends. You know, who your parents use. If you don't have that network,
Right.
who your friends use. And that's really it.
Yeah.
But I would recommend even a real estate meetup. It can be
Oh, yeah.
intimidating to show up to that, but you can even go just as an innocent bystander with just an intention of and a thought of, hey, I want to get into real estate. And you may never, but just go, because I can give a recent example where we needed some land tested for environmental, and the week after I decided that we needed to do it on a commercial property we were looking at, he was hosting the Western Mass Real Estate Meetup.
Nice.
So I go there, and that's exactly who we're using now. And now he's doing a second property environmental
it.
test for us too.
Okay.
About 6 months later.
So
So now he's part of our network.
Well, tell me more about that place you're talking about where you met him.
So that was
what
at
is
the Springfield Country Club, right here in West Springfield, Mass.
Okay.
Western Mass RIA.
Okay.
At the time, a friend and president and owner of Naples Realty Group was heading that up.
Okay.
He's like, hey, you should come check it out. And at that time, my wife and I were pretty content with where we were at. We're like, oh, we have, I don't know how many properties at the time.
we
but
have a whole lot.
We
We're
had a bunch,
successful. Yeah.
and it's working for us. So
Yeah,
like,
we're good.
what else do I need to learn? And
Right.
being super open-minded, we didn't realize we were going to go into commercial real estate eventually. So don't be so short-sighted.
Right.
Go, just meet people and have fun.
Right.
And if you keep it fun, I think that's when you attract a certain
Good
group.
quality people are
Yeah.
naturally givers, and
Yeah.
they want to share
yeah.
what they've learned and
Yep.
put in their toolbox, right? And so, with a nice environment like a Western Mass real estate meetup, you have those people are there to connect. They're there to share.
Yeah.
And those are people who have done it. It's not someone, and I'm sorry, but this TikTok, Instagram stuff comes up every day in my business, and it's like these are people trying to sell you something,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, views and clicks and whatever $20 course.
Yeah.
But you're really talking, you know, on the boots on the ground with real people in your network, because every network
local is
or every
important.
market's so different,
Yeah.
right? Like it's just the best thing to do is get face to face.
Face to face.
If you don't know anyone in an environment like that.
There's a lot of people out there, and I would say my wife and I are part of that now, where we want to mentor more than I want
Yes.
to actually.
Give back.
Yeah, I want to give back, and I don't know what it is inside me that drives that wanting to give back and show others. It's more of a pride thing, even if there's a little bit of selfish in it, that makes me feel gratified that we did this. Let me show you. At least someone's on the receiving end of, this is awesome. And a lot of people say, wow, how'd you do it? But then don't want to jump in. And I just want to take them under my wing and like, let me show you. Let's go buy a house today.
There's some things in that, right?
You know,
To be
and it's like
you give more than they know they
just
yeah.
come under my wing and let's do this.
Well,
And-
I was just talking to a coach the other day, and that was sort of what he was saying. You know, when you get to a point in your career, you want to be able to mentor. You want to be able to have a competition with someone maybe doing something you want to do, right?
Yep.
So, like, having those two dynamics keeps you feeling good with the mentoring, but keeps your drive high because you're chasing someone else's
Yeah.
success, right? But then maybe they mentor you.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how that chain, you know.
Once you peel back the layers of fear,
yeah.
like now the competition is just us against ourselves. Like
Right.
that's where we're at right now. I see other people doing things and we're like, do we really want to go to down south to do this? We want to kind of stay local in our backyard and give back to the community that we're in. which is our portfolio is Northern Connecticut and Western Mass.
Okay.
But we see, we were never, we don't want to get into commercial. What do? We go and get into commercial. And we're like, well, this was just as easy as buying a house, the first house, day one. And now we're like, well, now we want to get bigger in commercial.
Right.
And so that's the competition that drives us.
Yeah,
Let's keep taking a little more, I don't say risk, but calculated risk.
Just a push from where we were yesterday.
So it's us again.
Yeah.
I would say it's me against her, but that's every day. Me against my wife.
And I'm sure she wins most days, I'm guessing.
I mean, you want to talk about checks and balances. I'm over analytical. It can paralyze you when analyzing deals, especially when I think more like a lender. And she's more like just execute. Just go do it today. And yeah, you know what? All right, I'm gonna.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna stop looking at this
eighth
spreadsheet.
of a rate and not,
I'm gonna stop looking at a spreadsheet and I'm gonna actually go do this.
Yeah.
So we have a great checks and balances.
I love it. She pushes you right to just pull that trigger. Yeah. That's good.
You said
it's
the
good
first
team.
one was easy?
I had a good mentor.
Okay.
All through cars. If I haven't said it before.
Subsequently, were they all easy? Did you ever run into a challenge and said, "Oh, geez, I wish I had known how to work through this"?
I think multifamily was a little bit different than single family. That was kind of the biggest step.
Yeah.
We were always so scared of tenant relationships. We almost, I don't want to say got too close, but it's been part of our success and part of a crux that's held us back in a way, where we knew our tenants. They text us and say, hey, this is broken, that's broken, and we were super reactive, which is why they stayed.
Yeah.
So part of the success, part of why it wasn't successful for a long-term vision for us and why we kind of dabbled in multifamily and property management, because I don't want to wake up to that text every day.
Right.
Even though I was super proactive and we're not upset about it, it's just you can't do it at high volume. And we knew we wanted to grow. So how do you grow while kind of staying in the weeds?
You delegate.
Saying, hey, I'll stop by on the way to work and I'll look at it and then I'll dispatch who I think I need to go look at your air conditioning unit or your heating system. Or a tree fell down the backyard and crushed the neighbor's fence. I have to go look at it. All right, let me call someone. Those are distractions, and if you're more specific with your time, it allowed us to scale.
Yeah, yep.
So I would say multifamily was the hardest challenge we've had, even though it's been the best endeavor.
Have you ever had tenants that you didn't pay you and you had to pursue legal action?
You're going to think I'm crazy for saying this, because I was talking to someone the other day who said, you're lying to me, and I said, I'm not. Yeah. Because we were super involved, we've had no late payments.
And how
That's
about up
awesome.
front? How about up front and screening? How do you go about that? Because you'll have applicants that you got to choose.
So I was a finance manager in automotive for years, and then being the general manager in charge of compliance and credit reporting.
Yeah.
I could screen really, really well.
That's important, obviously.
And so we started with cozy.co, then we switched to apartments.com, which does background and credit check.
Okay.
It really comes down to how you read a credit report.
Right. Yeah.
And then
the risk.
a lot of people say they verify income. A lot of people say they call previous landlords, and they don't. We check 2 references. We would not let someone in that house or even approve them as a tenant until we heard from 2 references that are non-family members. Great credit. We had credit criteria that we were very specific with, so that, discriminatory and
it's important not to go by your gut. Don't go by your gut, because
don't do friends.
Yeah,
no friends and family
stuff.
discount.
Yeah.
Because you're right, that upfront research, that upfront time spent pays off.
Yeah, and then being super proactive, like I said, on things that do go wrong, because it's life. People get sick, family situations change, tenants want to move out early.
Yeah.
Work with them. That's the best advice I could give.
Yeah,
you sign a lease for a year and someone's family member gets sick and they have to move home. Don't make them pay the whole year. That was our strategy. Yeah. Maybe it doesn't work for some
but you can work out a reasonable compromise that makes sense for everybody.
Extremely reasonable.
Yeah.
Extremely reasonable.
Yeah.
Someone texted me the other day and said they're supposed to go to the property management company, but they still come to me, and I enjoy little tidbits.
They were some OG renters from you,
Yeah, but
guessing,
it's a check-in, and it keeps the property manager honest. And they said, hey, you need a new front door. And I said, well, we could repair it, or we could just say, hey, we're going to do a door for you because they've been there so long. Didn't even hesitate. Just put a door on it.
Yeah. I mean, treating people
Right.
like humans, staying connected like that, right? In that way, it gives you, you can look ahead a little bit, anticipate things that might come up, get it taken care of ahead of time. But there's a lot of, housing shortages real right now. And so if there's listeners here that are looking to move and they're just toss the idea of home ownership out of their life, because that's what a lot of younger kids are doing, and they need to rent, when you're doing that review, what is, like, I don't know, in a box, your perfect ideal tenant, if you can disclose what you're looking for? I mean, just on a real general basis?
Ooh,
Like
that's really
that
tough.
credit. Are you looking for no debt on their credit? Are you looking for payment history on
Yeah,
their credit? Both.
We're definitely looking to see how you pay people.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
there's no questions asked whether it's a credit card, even your limited credit history. We don't want what we call a ghost.
Someone who has
Meaning,
nothing.
Someone has no credit. That's a high risk for us.
Right.
Even if you pay your bills and you know you pay your bills, and that might be the case. It's.
What if you saw a credit report with just all the self-reported utilities? Would that give you and everything else around that was strong?
I think we could. I always land on we could always do better.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
that's the approach we kind of take until we feel comfortable doing that and moving forward.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see credit history. You want to see previous rental history.
Yes.
I know it's hard to get started, but honestly, you asked about non-payment. The one high-risk tenant we did have was very limited credit with not a lot of history, and they had a really good story. But that's exactly what it was. They lasted
A
5
story.
years.
Wow.
And I think their latest payment was a week overdue, not months. So not serious by any means,
Yeah.
but we were hyper involved, and we cannot do that at
Right.
scale.
Right.
So I think just as a student of history, we really look for experience,
Okay.
especially when you're doing a single family home, because there's more things that come into play.
Absolutely. You're
Have you ever owned a home? There's a lot of things
Why-
that come with home ownership.
Right.
Not just I'm renting an apartment in a building and the grounds are kept up. Yes, we can include landscaping and mowing, but
Inside.
Well, you mentioned the issue.
Yeah,
we're
gonna
the
keep it
tree
clean.
there's a
falling-
lot more
Yeah.
light bulbs in a single family house than
Right,
there is in
right.
Like you mentioned, the tree falling on the neighbor's fence.
Yeah.
Those are the type of things that you.
Also
Yeah.
too, staying in contact like you do, or now that you have the property management
Mm-hmm.
to scale, it's less likely they won't some tenants won't report something. Their kid
That's right.
flushed the car down the toilet, and they don't want to
Yeah.
tell you that it exploded in the basement or
That's
whatever, right? So being connected, being a good landlord, being a good human
Yep, matters.
actually helps you, right? I think about it too in my business. It's like we don't chase money, we chase service. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
and then the money just comes with that because they're serving correctly, you know. So a lot of landlords are in it for the money right now. Rent has went up a lot.
Yeah, taxes went up, insurance went up,
Right.
rates went up, as you know.
Yeah.
Although I think there's still a way to be competitive in that world.
True.
I would say don't be greedy. I mean, we price our
Right.
stuff under market to make sure it doesn't stay on market long when it is available for rent. Vacancy kills.
Right.
So we'd rather take $100 less in rent, list the property, fill it fast with the right individual, and that's always been a good strategy for us.
I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, cash flow.
Oh
In
boy.
terms of determining your
Oh, boy.
cash flow, because that's important to know ahead of time and to plan accordingly. And I know we talked about an example earlier where I said, is it common for people to underestimate the repairs and get surprised later? And you said, well, in your case, you sometimes
We have the opposite story.
you have the opposite
Well, you're a little
story.
bit of an analytical guy. right?
Yeah,
So, but that's good.
Well, this property was unique,
Yeah.
and I'll use one specific example. It was in a neighborhood where every house was upkept.
Okay.
It was on our street.
Oh, so really right there.
We made an offer and bought it on the drive home from a car show. Who I just got mentored on how to buy a single family house, and then we bought that
Let's
day.
put this to work right
So
away.
we were
That's
like,
your wife, I think, right?
Yeah,
That says,
probably.
Let's just do
She's like,
it.
let's just do it.
Don't
And
look at
then-
the spreadsheet.
But the excitement and the thrill of doing it can get you can overindulge, right?
Right.
So I was telling Michael earlier that we did gardens, we did bushes, we did shrubbery, and we were looking for passive income. We weren't looking to actually spend money every month and lose money. Well, you did $2,000 on just gardens, and now the property management company charges you to take care of them every year.
season, yeah.
Right? So we did a bulkhead, we did a chimney, we did everything in the house in lieu of
Having the income.
kitchen cabinets.
Oh, yeah.
We did
Oh, wow.
paint, but we, picked the higher end materials. Now, I will say that we didn't get a lot of phone calls for a while because we did everything. We've gone through the house. But I think there's certain things we could have not indulged so much. And
Yeah,
gardens,
yeah.
I probably would just do stone and keep it simple. The tenants would appreciate it. By the way,
Clean and
I do
tidy,
think
right,
people
when
that
they're
love the
renting.
curb appeal and they said, I want to rent that. So the gardens did help us in a sense, intrinsic value. But the upkeep as a business owner,
Yeah, 5 years out. What is this actually going to cost 5 years
and
out? It's
hey, by the way, I
2000
still
today.
drive by it now, and the bushes are huge, and I'm like, wow, they still look good, but
They got to get trimmed.
maybe we should pull them out. Right?
Yeah. And conversely, a lot of people will say, "Hey, you know what? Let's just not overspend. Let's just do what's minimally required here, just to get this done." And so sometimes that's okay for cash flow purposes.
Pet peeve of mine, though.
Short term. But then what happens is you get the calls to repair this, that,
Yeah.
the thing, things you've compromised on.
Yep.
And I'm sure often that's a surprise to people. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they're surprised when they see the undercut, because I think from a tenant perspective, they walk into property expecting it to feel like home.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you undercut, there's going to be longer days on market. You're going to end up getting less rent.
Mm-hmm.
So I think cash flow, if you do spend the money up front and do it right, it's worked out.
It plays out in the end.
Yeah, it plays out in the end on the right things, and we could deep dive into that, but in a matter of time.
Yeah, right.
For another day.
Exactly.
There's a lot of things we could pick your brain on. Maybe even after we'll do a shout out if anyone's looking for a mentor.
Yeah,
to
there
get
you go.
started.
Love to. I'd absolutely love
While
to.
we're on it, I mean, if people want to get in touch with you, because you have Bulldog Realty Group, but you're also work with Naples Realty.
Yep.
In Agawam.
Yeah, licensed real estate agent.
Yep.
With
So
Naples Group.
you're buying and selling homes, not just for you, for other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't stop.
No, and I'm still in automotive.
I know you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy what we can hold on to. All the
If
plates.
somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they reach you?
On the real estate side,
Yeah.
Bulldog Realty GRP at gmail.com would be the best way. I haven't done a ton of social media just because of all the hats we wear. I think there's some future opportunity. We like to be behind the curtain a little bit. As we were growing and scaling, I think from a risk perspective, we didn't want to just throw our name out there. You kind of make yourself susceptible.
Yeah, yeah.
We always wanted to stay kind of behind the curtain, but now as I want to mentor more,
Let me get out there.
you get out there a little bit for the right reasons, for the mentorship,
Yeah.
not because we want to make a name for our business. It's happening and happened already. So
Now, let me just throw this out as a hypothetical. Let's say somebody said, "Hey, Mike, I listened to you on that podcast. That wonderful Get Moving podcast.
The
Heard
one we
everything
all
you-
love."
This sounds great. I'm thinking about real estate. I love what you said. What's a couple pointers, couple tips? What's the first thing you would tell somebody who calls you? Say, hey, here's some quick advice. Bang. What's the thing that comes to the top of your head?
property analysis spreadsheet.
Okay.
First thing.
Yeah.
First thing, and I just winged that, by the way. That wasn't planned.
Okay.
None of this
Property
is.
analysis
Yeah.
worksheet. What is that? What's that?
A property
comprised
analysis.
of?
So it's something we didn't do at first.
Okay.
When we looked at that first property and the first house we bought, we went in with gut, and I would say it worked out for us. However, now what we have set up is a property analysis spreadsheet where my wife's looking at a property or I'm looking at a property. We would always have to come home and talk about it and figure it out and pencil it out, and she would execute and I'd slow it down. And now we can plug our numbers in. Does it make sense? Go forward with offer.
Numbers are facts,
And so
yeah.
speed to the table really matters, especially in the current climate we're in
Right.
in real estate. So we built out an analysis.
So you built it out.
Yeah, but you can use
mean,
AI.
did you
You
get
can
a
use
template?
AI. You
You
can
got a
use
template?
templates,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
did what works for us. So, for example, capital expenditures. Not a lot of people plan for that. They say, "Well, mortgage is $2,000, rent's $2,200. I'm making $200 a
Right.
month."
Right.
Well, hate to break it to you, you're not.
Right.
Taxes, insurance, vacancy,
Water bills.
capital expenditures, who's doing the landscaping, water bills. Is it a multifamily? So you're paying it, a single family, and different state laws apply here, but those things aren't taken into consideration, and they need to be. And so the property analysis leaves no gray area for that.
Yeah.
You plug it all in. If you miss a line, it tells you missed a line. Hey, what is this
What about
number?
this one? Yeah. I like that.
So you can create your threshold. Do you want 5% vacancy to use, or do you want 10%? And so my wife and I come up with our numbers that we agree on. That's uniform, and if the numbers work, we go.
You're looking at it objectively rather than subjectively, and you're trying to take some of the emotions out of it to
Yeah.
make a more rational decision here,
Yeah.
right? Obviously. And so it's just a property analysis worksheet, which you can Google, AI, get a template, and start from there.
And build what works for you. Then you
Yeah, right.
decide.
You
You
can
decide the
modify
numbers. Yeah.
accordingly.
Yeah.
But that's a great start. Yeah.
I think that's the best start. I mean, we've had negative,
Right.
but I need a disclaimer.
Yeah.
We've bought negative cash flow properties
Knowingly.
knowingly.
Well, you knew it, so that's number
Knowingly.
one. Yeah.
If it makes negative $200, it fit into the portfolio. All right, so I'm going to give hypotheticals.
Yeah, yeah.
You're making $10,000 a month as a big time investor, and you buy a property that makes negative $200, negative $300 a month. So now you're netting $9,700. but you have a huge equity play in that property where there's $100,000 in equity in that property. And that's sometimes can be the case.
Outweighs
So
that.
it bothers me when people say negative cash flow. It's negative can be a
relative.
positive. If
Right.
you put two negatives together.
If you have the data.
There you
well,
go.
if you, I
Simple
mean,
math, right?
Right, yeah.
well, that's just such a narrow view, right? They're just going, well, my payment's 25 and the rent's only 22. Never mind.
But
But
it's allowed us to be competitive.
right, because you know when to stop, you know your threshold, you know what you're willing to walk away from very easily, quickly, right? Because you need to know, and just going a little deeper into having where your goals are with this portfolio too. It's not just monthly cash flow, or some people a lot of times say it's their retirement plan. I hear that a lot. You know, I want to get 2 multis and retire on this income stream. Well, geez, they need that spreadsheet. Yeah.
You hear it a lot. But
yeah, that's a big one.
I'm not retiring off of 21 doors. There's some bad deals in there. Probably some deals we could have done better. I think there always will be if I relook at everything. But,
Of course.
I would say it's more of a legacy, right? Family, children, like before we sell one, we'll probably cash out, refi one, and live off that.
Right.
Don't tell my lender. But yeah, I think there's different strategies for everyone.
Yeah.
Long term.
Exactly. Right. Well,
that's where you need mentorship, right? Because there's
Yeah.
no one that's gonna there's no one that's gonna challenge you, or online, or people who haven't done it, to think about what truly your goal is going to be with this,
Yeah.
right? Like, everyone wants to make money. Oh yeah, I can build equity over time, right? Some of them are that advanced. Some
Yep.
of them aren't. They just have money and they want to invest it in real
A
estate.
big number for us is return on equity right now.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's what matters in the growing market for us with the assets we already hold. I think what's in little pivot of subject, when we first got asked at these real estate meetups, how many properties do you, or how many doors do you have? And we were like, we have like 7, and it wasn't impressive. But then they say, how many properties do you have? And you go, 7. And you're like, holy cow.
Yeah, they're thinking 3
I
properties.
only have
maybe.
3 properties, but I have a ton of doors, and I think it's become the best icebreaker to a conversation in real estate.
Well, that's interesting.
Because no one expects someone to be so successful or as successful in single family real estate.
Right.
They're like, how do you make that work? I need to pick your brain. Boom, doors open, and we're having a fluid conversation about what they do compared to what we do.
Well, you're learning from each
and
other.
Love it.
and then you start learning from one another. So, single family's been a huge catalyst for what's jet setted us into fast growth.
Yeah,
Just
and
from
I
conversation
think
network.
and back to the screening, because especially with the negative cash flow properties, that's where you really want the good tenants to avoid the surprises. But that's important. I've had a couple of experiences. I won't get into the details, but with a single family home, I had somebody perfect couple. I met them, gut feeling, these are the best people ever.
Helping them.
Well, then within 3 months, they separated, and one didn't pay the rent. This happened. It was just a nightmare.
Yeah.
And it took me a year to get them out, and I lost thousands and thousands of dollars 20 years ago. I'll never do that again because it's traumatizing,
Yeah.
And then, of course, with the 2-family home, I had a hoarder. And it took me a year and a half to get him out, and the property was a mess. And so I wish I had done a better job up front. Could have avoided all that.
Yeah. Even when we lost the contractors, because there's a time period where
Yeah.
a contractor maybe doesn't want to do that work anymore and he goes to work for a different company. Even during that period, we just had to pivot a little bit.
Yeah.
So we bought houses that didn't need any rehab. We bought houses that were just turnkey, ready to rock. So in different lens, but we looked at it from, well, we don't have to spend 3 months of mortgage payments and
Renovating
holding
and
period
prepping.
until renovations are done. Even though the after repair value might be higher, we can get rent day one, and guess what we did? We did, and we just rode the equity wave where we bought it turnkey. Maybe that's a negative cash flow deal, or maybe it makes $300-$500, and you're not retiring off that.
No.
But in 2 years, you sell that property, suck all the equity out, and put it into something else. And so we just had to pivot our strategy with current market
And
conditions.
this is where your property analysis sheet works in, because if you have a house that's not going to appreciate, that doesn't get that equity position, that is negative cash flow, you say, okay, where's the positive side of this checklist? There has to be. There has to be a balance to offset the cash flow, the negative cash flow in something. Again, that's where the sheet comes in.
Just a tidbit of information for listeners.
Yeah.
I think the lowest rehab cost we ever had in purchasing a house is $5,000 to $8,000.
Okay.
It's not zero. It's never zero.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Right.
It's
Right.
never zero. Even if there's good appliances, you might want to upgrade those appliances before.
Yeah.
So $5,000 to $8,000 is kind of what we use as like the bare minimum as a turnkey. It's not
Wow.
zero. It's not
You know,
zero.
and I'll tell you, a lot of first-time investors I'm seeing over here in the Western Mass area that I'm serving, they have just enough to buy these properties. And we do require 6 months or 12, depending on their profile, of reserve. So 6 months of that mortgage payment and available funds left over for, you know,
There's a good reason for
a
that.
lot of them are probably using it to renovate.
There's a real good reason
But
for
they're
that.
they're really tight. They're really tight. Some of these people, they need mentorship, you
So
know?
everything being so tight, what do you consider as reserves? And I've heard multiple opinions on this.
What do you mean?
Like, there was one bank or lender that said, "Hey, your brokerage counts. Hey, your 401k that you can draw on counts."
Oh,
what are
what
the
kind
what are
of
the
accounts?
areas of
Yeah.
opportunities for reserves?
The easiest way to say it is that we will count reserves as long as you can liquidate them in a hardship situation, right? So the ones that you can liquidate is what we can use towards reserves. So a lot of people that are just getting in, they're using their retirement accounts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really, and then their money's sitting in, literally a lot of people just have it sitting in a savings account. You
Yeah,
know?
so I think it would be hard for the younger investor.
Oh, yeah.
Because when they say, what are reserves? I don't have that money in the bank. And I was just talking to an experienced insurance agent who said, I want to do real estate what you do because I'm writing all your policies. What the heck?
Yeah, I see this. What's happening? Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he doesn't understand that reserves can come from different sources. So I
Right.
think it's important to mention because that we now factor that into our creative opportunities to increase property counts for us.
Oh, good.
We're like, hey, maybe this capital's tied up over here right now, but what about a short term? Maybe we can draw over here. Oh wait, we can't because we need XYZ reserves.
Right.
Or maybe
right.
we can because, but it's certain pockets that other people can look if they want to get started too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Good point.
Yeah,
Good
and
point.
don't overextend yourself to gain the reserves when you may have them elsewhere that could count.
Yeah.
That could serve the purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, and it could stop you from doing a property.
Right.
Like I was like,
Right.
oh wow,
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't have this money sitting in the bank looking at it, but we did have it.
Speaking of reserves, I do want to mention, because we did say we wanted to mention how the DSCR loans work. Can you explain that a little bit? So, because people often aren't aware that these type of loans exist, especially if they're first-time investors.
Yeah, so a DSCR loan is basically almost the most familiar way I'm seeing investors get in right now. And what it does is it takes your income out of the equation and your debts.
In other words, you have a job, it doesn't count that income.
It doesn't count income of that person, and it doesn't count the debts of that person.
Is that property specific?
It's just the property they're looking at. That's subject property. Whatever the rent market flow is or current lease is on there, will gauge the rent, and that needs to equal or exceed in most situations the mortgage payment. And we call that the DSCR ratio in place of DTI ratio, which would be your income.
And Dix, explain what DSCR means, because people listening will say, what is DSCR actually
Oh,
mean?
geez, Mike. It's debt servicing
Coverage
Thank you.
ratio.
Coverage ratio.
Okay.
The C was getting me.
Hey.
Now it makes sense. It's
I
okay,
think-
debt service
Think like a
coverage
lender
ratio.
and you'll be successful
Yeah,
as an
yeah.
investor.
Honestly, they're a lender delight. I love writing those. They're
Yeah.
easy. We take all the headache out.
And
One of
it's
the biggest
simple-
headaches are
It's simple math.
it's simple math.
Yeah.
Well, it is, and gosh, we could get on such a different topic with rent right now. But yeah, so what's beautiful about it too is as people start to accumulate properties, there is a cap on how many properties you can own in order to get regular financing still. They cap that out. So if your goal is to build multiple, we can actually finance in a DSCR in a corporation at closing. So what that does, what's really beneficial to most of the people I work with, is it doesn't report to their personal credit profile. So now if they want to go do something personally and lend on a second home for their family, because they're doing so great with this, those payments aren't going to hold them back. They don't have to worry about, the heavy deductions they had for doing all the renovations in their tax return, taking away from their real income. I'm not trying to get too tangled in it, but
it mattered. It mattered when I went to buy a sports car and I
Yeah.
had all these properties on my personal
Yeah,
credit,
I'm
right?
sure.
You have to provide proof. You have to tell the story. I knew how to do that, but for those who don't, the DSCR product really helps coming
Removing that.
not on your personal credit.
it
Right.
completely isolates it from you.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
Huge
would want to know
benefit.
more about that, because often it comes up, you say, oh, I didn't even know those types of loans
People do
existed.
not-
They
yeah,
don't know. That's
yeah.
important, especially for a potential real estate investor.
And the other thing too is
Yeah.
a lot of these DSCR, sometimes we can do 15% down. And so people want to go the standard conventional qualify with their
3 to
income,
5%,
but
as little as possible.
if they were going to do 15 down on a conventional loan, they're going to get PMI. PMI in an investment property? No, thank you. So a lot of times, maybe the rates are a little higher on a DSCR.
Yep.
There's a little bit, it's a riskier loan, so it's going to be
Sure.
a little riskier priced. But when we put those two things side by side, the DSCR wins every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
That's good to
So,
know.
yeah, it's pretty cool. You don't know until you put it together and analyze it. But, yeah. So, DSCR is a great way to finance investments. One thing I do see, just real quick, first-time investors, a lot of times right now I'm seeing the 20 to 30-year-olds who've been living at home. They've done a great job saving up money, and they want to invest in real estate because word on the street is that's what the best investments are right now with the growth. But they don't have payment history for their own housing. And being a first-time home buyer, buying an investment for the first time, there are some things we have to overcome with that. So one tip I would give people in that situation is make sure you have some kind of way to prove 12 months of housing payment. Rent to your mom and dad, canceled checks.
Have a record of it.
A record for 12 months. Because if you don't, you can't do DSCR financing.
For at least a year.
You need 12 months of housing payment.
Even
of your
with
own.
house hacking. So if you're owner occupied and you find a duplex and you want to live in one side, you still need 12.
You need 12 months of housing payment history one way or another.
To people to know that up front.
Oh, there's been plenty of times
obviously.
I've seen that bite loan officers that they didn't know that guideline because DSCR is underwritten very differently than your standard loans.
So mom and dad listening, raise your rents.
And make your children pay by check.
On the next podcast.
Right.
No cash,
We'll
don't
talk
do-
about
Have
how
a
to-
paper trail.
raising rents on your family.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
Mike, we're going to have you on another
Yeah, look
episode.
forward
There's
to it.
so
That'd be
much
great.
we didn't untap
There is,
here.
there is. Yeah, I know we're running out of time here, but Mike, is there anything that comes to mind that you're itching to say that you didn't get a chance to?
Just get started. Just get started. If you're going to make mistakes, there's plenty of people out there who can guide you through some of the challenges they've had. But I wish, in hindsight, we did this we grew faster. We wanted to make sure one worked first, and that's important. And then we wanted to make sure the second worked first, and we could balance it. I think once you get to 5 or 6,
Let's go.
I kind of wish we hit the gas pedal a little harder and didn't wait so long to get into
In hindsight,
2 to 4 family properties.
in hindsight, I guess I
Gotcha.
understand that, but also to take a measured approach and take your time to
Yeah.
go through the property analysis sheet to do this because don't rush it out of emotions. Try to take the emotions out of it as much as you can because it is exciting.
But I would,
Start, yeah.
I think to start, before you just get going, get your core 4. Get your lender, get your attorney, get your insurance, right? Get all
Get
the
your
lined-
mentor.
Get your mentor, get it all lined up. By the way,
2 of those 4 are sitting right
my
here.
my mentor was brief, my mentorship. He a car community guy, had 27 single family homes out in Cape Cod.
Ooh,
I was
nice.
blown away just talking to him, so I just asked how. Well, 3 hours later, he just told me how. And that's when we drove past the house on the ride home, and we made an offer on it. And I was like, it can't be that easy. And it really, I think it was. Yeah. I think it was.
love
So
it.
those of you who have saved in your parents' basements or parents' houses, save it for that rehab because and just do one.
Yeah.
And get started.
Build
Get
your
started.
muscle. Yeah.
But
that's
just
great
ask.
advice.
Just ask. Come ask me.
Right.
I'll walk you through the whole thing. I do have some time to be
What's
able to
that
do
email
that.
address one last time?
Bulldog Realty, grp@gmail.com. Let me know if you're looking for any information. Glad to help. I can even meet you at a property, walk through it, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, we're here with Mike LaPointe. Thanks for sharing that. That
Thanks for having me.
website. Yep. And I think that advice of get started resonates with our audience because our podcast is called Get Moving.
Right.
Get moving.
Perfect.
Get started.
Yeah.
All right.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it.
All right. Hey, Mike. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks again for having me.
All right. We'll have you on again. We'll be talking.
Look
about
forward to it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and see you all soon.
Thanks.